Hi, hello, welcome back. Yesterday, I got a very exciting delivery, something that I've wanted to potentially cast on and work up for a really long time. I got a little package from Wool Warehouse. I mean, I already opened it because I was too curious, but I thought it would be fun to maybe work this up together because this is gonna be a knit that involves new material, new tools. I've never tried these before and I'm actually really excited. So let's get crack-a-lackin'. What's fun about Wool Warehouse is when you order, they send you your yarn in like these kind of mesh bags, but I find these really fun to use because it's like a very sheer mesh. You can kind of actually like keep your projects in here, keep your yarn safe and protected in here. I don't know, it's just good organization. I ordered one yarn, but two different colors. I got Drops Fiesta Unicolor, superwash treated sock wool. It is a DK weight yarn, 120 yards, 110 meters the skein. So I ordered it in a kind of forest green and a little off-white, kind of cream almost. I got the yarn in order to cast on a lovely pattern from Knitted Moomin Socks, 29 original designs and charts by Linda Permanto, which is finally translated in English. So this book was originally a Finnish publication, and like, how cute are these socks? I've been wanting to knit socks from this book since it came out, so I'm very excited. Now this will be the first time that I'm using this yarn. I've never knit with Fiesta before. Now this isn't the yarn that they recommend, but I wasn't able to get the exact yarn recommended in this pattern. So the pattern that I decided to go with is Snuffin Goes Fishing, and it is this one, which I thought was super cute. I kind of love this design. I think most of the patterns in this book are knit with DK weight yarn and are knit on 3mm needles. Not only did I get yarn, I ended up ordering my very first pair of double pointed needles, cubics. Now I've never tried these before. I've heard about them. I heard that they're supposed to be really good like for ergonomics because they're squared. I'm really curious to see. Oh, weird. They are cube. I'm actually really excited. These feel really nice. I might get more. So this is my first time buying an official set of DPNs because the one I do have, like the kind of kit I have, was a really cheap Amazon kit just to see if I enjoyed knitting with double pointed needles. But I'm really curious to try these. So this one starts off with women's 6.5 to 7. So I'm gonna do that size. European 37 to 38. Most of the designs in this book call for yarn that is Notiva Mumitalo, Moomin House yarn, DK weight 8 ply. I couldn't get that yarn here for some reason. I couldn't find it anywhere online. So I decided to go with this DK weight yarn. Hopefully this will work. I tried to select the closest green, but then I didn't want it to be crisp white. So I decided to go with a little bit of a warmer white, just because that's my preference. So the techniques is ribbing in the round, stockinette, fair isle in the round. Tension is 25 stitches in fair isle. And socks are worked up top down from cuff to toe. My favorite way to work up a sock. I hate working toe up socks. So let's start. Okay, so I've casted on all of my stitches. This is the hardest part with DPNs. It's like starting it, especially to not twist it. Okay, I'm just gonna get real up close. One thing that I like to do to help avoid a gap here is I'll take my last yarn and my first knit, if I'm able to, clearly not. I take my first and my last knit and I just swap them. Now this does start you off with like a little bit of like a twist and a bump here, but that's at the back of my sock. I just prefer starting like that than to have a gap between my front and my end cast on. So now we can just do the rib, and it is a 2x2 rib. So with my 5th needle, yeah, Sylvester. The only thing I'm not crazy about when I knit with DP ends is this right here. This needle is gonna like stab me in the face. Okay. So that was a knit. So now we can do purl. Hello, and welcome to the back of my couch. This is a rare angle, but I'm trying to, get some new angles in these videos and kind of have a little bit of fun with it. Speaking of fun, look, you can kind of see him. So there's 4 of them in total, and I'm absolutely in love with this color work. This is so much fun. I can't put it down. It's been, I started this last night, so we're 5 p.m. now on Saturday, but I did go out and run some errands all morning. I've been knitting maybe an hour or 2 on this, haven't really gotten much done. And this, I think, is the first time that I'm working with a DK weight. I've always used like a sock yarn or like a fingering weight for socks. I'm loving it. It's super, super squishy. And I think when it comes to washing it, I might order some color blockers, I think they're called, and I've never tried them before. But because this is a new yarn and because it's white and green, I wouldn't want it to bleed. Apparently they're color catchers, so I'm gonna order some. And apparently when you wash, if there's any excess dye from the yarn that like bleeds into the water, instead of getting attached to the yarn, that little thing is gonna like absorb it. I say little thing because I have no idea what actually it looks like. I don't know what they are. I've just heard people talk about them before. So I might order some and just wash this with that just in case, because this would be completely atrocious if the green bled everywhere and I just lost my cute little man here. But yeah, I'm so happy and excited for this. You guys have no idea. Good morning. It's 12:54. It's not the morning anymore, but it is for me. On the plus side, we have the sock color work part done, at least on the leg. There's a little bit of more, I think they're fish. Yeah, they're fish on the foot because he goes fishing. So I think it looks really good. And I am just getting started on the heel. One thing that's very interesting about this heel construction, so it's a typical heel, knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in back, knit 1, slip 1, and you do that X amount of rows. One thing that is very interesting though is the fact that on the sides, I don't know if you can see it because I just did 2 rows. It's garter stitch on the side, which they claim is to reinforce the heel. I've never done a sock pattern with garter stitch on the side of the heel. We'll see. Maybe if it works, I'll start adding that to patterns that from here on out. This sock is also completely knit on the same needles. So that's one thing that's very convenient. I don't have to swap needles. It is 1:40 and I finished the heel. It took me 40 minutes. The heel. I finished the flap. Just a little flippity flap. I think I'm gonna go out and get myself a little coffee. Go sit down at a coffee shop. I'm gonna put this away. Do I have the white? Yes, I have the green and the white. I have my 2 needles. But I have a small, cute, adorable little heel. So now I'm just gonna pick up the stitches along the side of the sock and work the decreases this way. And then we can get back into the color work. That's the next part. At the foot of the sock is little fishies. Immediately after casting off the first sock, I quickly rushed, picked up the yarn and some needles, and well, the exact same needles, but essentially just cast on the second one. Because I am someone who suffers from sock island, it's just very hard for me to finish the second one. It's literally the same thing twice, and that's never really fun to do. I'm sure most of you understand that and also suffer from it. But basically, my goal right now, my theory is, if I cast on the second one right away, like right away, even though I don't really want to, I do it right away and start knitting and get to a decent point. Like, since I'm still on the high from the first one, like finishing the first one, hopefully that should help me jumpstart the sock island or the sleeve island or the whatever island I am on. Because the amount of socks I have that are just one and I never knit the second one, I guess I could wear those together and have like a unmatching pair of socks. All I'm trying to say is this happens a lot. For example, my camisole number 9, this beautiful one. So I knit the full tank top, and then it took me a month after to knit the collar, and now it's been a month since I've touched it, and I just have one more sleeve to do. And it's just because that portion is such on tiny needles, and the sewing is so tedious because I chose black yarn to knit it on. Like, essentially every time I look at it, I'm just like, I'm so close to the end, but there's still so much work in it that I'm just like exhausted just looking at it that I start something new. Here, what I wanted to do is kind of just show you guys how I like to work my floats so that they're not too long in the back. So I'll take both threads as if to knit them, but I'll make sure that here the green color, I don't want it to show in the front, is wrapped around before the white, and then I'll slip it over the white thread so that the white kind of catches the green. And it helps avoid really long floats so that if I put my foot, for example, in the sock, my toes won't get caught in a really long float. But you just have to make sure that the white actually really catches the green color. I'll typically do this maybe every 5 to 6 stitches. It really depends. So I now have my heel and the little heel flap part of the sock, and I can just kind of pick up the stitches along the sides here and start doing the decreases for the foot to get this little triangle right here. So this is the construction for the sock. If you've never knit a sock before, I highly recommend just try it. I think the hardest part when knitting a sock and the most intimidating thing is probably this portion right here. And if you go step by step slowly, most patterns divided into 3 sections. You have the flap knitting, the heel portion, which is just decreasing stitches, and then picking up stitches here. That's another section to then decrease more. So it can be intimidating, but I think that's the hardest part when it comes to knitting a sock. And if you can do that, the rest is just stockinette knitting, a couple more decreases, and then doing a mattress stitch for your toe. And that's the basic construction for a basic vanilla sock. Yeah, I would recommend you to try one if you've never knit a sock before. I would say maybe cast on a DK weight sock, because these socks are working up. They're really thick, but they're working up really quickly, and I'm still knitting on 3mm, which is US 2.5. It's still a manageable needle size. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep watching my YouTubes, and actually I'm gonna go get some dinner right now, and then I'll come back, keep watching my YouTubes, and hopefully get this done. The sock pattern says that you're going to use 100 grams of yarn A and yarn B. Now I am just about done my second sock. I think I just need to do like the little toe decreases. The thing is, I haven't touched the second skein of white. And I've done all the white color work. So I have a full skein left over. So I don't know if I did something wrong or The socks look correct. I matched exactly the chart. I just now have a skein left over, which I think I can now use to knit up Christmas ornaments. So it's not all completely lost because I've been really getting into knitting Christmas ornaments. However, yeah, just... So these socks only ended up taking up 3 skeins because this is the current status of the last skein and I just need to do the toe. So I might not even finish it. I am way too excited for this. I have just finished knitting both socks. They are done. And the thing is, I ran out of wool wash last video and I ordered some. It's not here yet. And neither are the dye blockers because technically the knit is done. I can technically wear these and I might actually just do that today. And here they are. These are my socks. So this is the Snuffin Goes Fishing sock and I love them. I just put them on sock blockers so you can properly see them. Now, out of my 3 sock blockers, this is the largest one from the set. And this is just like a typical sock blocking set you can find on Amazon. They're just a metal wire. Very simple. I absolutely loved working on these socks so much. I mean, look at the detail. Little Snuffin with his hat and a little scarf and the little grass and flowers. I think this is adorable. This was the first time I worked on a sock with a rib along the ankle like this. I had never done this type of construction before, and it also is the first time I've done garter stitch along the side of the heel. I don't really know how well this wears. I don't really know. We'll see. Maybe it is something I add to my other sock constructions. And then of course the beautiful little fish. The sock pattern is super well written and it's a very easy design. It's a stockinette. Now, the only thing I did find annoying is if you have any questions as to what an abbreviation means in the pattern, you have to go to the front of the book. All the abbreviations are here. The size and sock measurements are here. It also gives you stitch counts for different sizes. So you can totally customize the pattern because the pattern is just for one size, but they give you all the options here, how to work different heel flaps depending on child size to adult UK size 11. It even has US women's, US children's, sock circumference. It's very user friendly. It's all at the beginning of the book. The pattern is very simple, well explained. I had a lot of fun knitting and using the book. So as for the yarn, because I haven't actually worn this, I don't know how it wears. So I will 100% knit more socks from this book. I already have a couple patterns that I'm keeping my eye on, and I was gonna buy more yarn to knit another sock, but I did want to make sure that this wasn't gonna felt or wasn't gonna bleed or wasn't. I just thought because this was a new yarn and I had never used it, it might be smart to just make one sock, wear it, test it out, and then see if this is a sock yarn I would like to use again. Because there isn't that many blank sock option in DK weight. A lot of times the DK weight will just be wool and it won't be wool with a 20 or 15% nylon with it. The yarn is superwash treated, but it doesn't feel like a superwash. It has more of a woolly feeling to it, which is really nice. But because of that, it's not super soft. It's soft, but I'm pretty sure washing it is going to help it. But it doesn't feel like a superwash merino. It feels more woolly. I keep saying this, but it is very squishy and it feels really nice to work up and have. As for the needles, I think these are now my favorite DPNs. I actually had a blast knitting with these, and just knowing that they're cube, there's a little bit of excitement to it too. So if you haven't tried these out, I would highly recommend them. I had a blast knitting with these, and I will most likely be ordering more. I wish, again, that they did have a kit, that it could be like a cubics kit for the DP ends, because they do have a interchangeable like knitting needle kit. I'm probably just going to order the sizes that I usually knit up socks in and go from there. I think there's like 2 other sizes that I'll probably need. In the end, these socks probably only took me a week. Each one took me a weekend because I've been working a lot of overtime. At my work right now, it's just that season. So these were pretty much worked up in the weekends entirely. Last weekend, I knit this one while watching all of the Star Wars movies. And this weekend, I just powered through my second sock because, well, you guys saw it. I was scared to get sock syndrome or sock island. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, even though it was a much simpler little project. I had a lot of fun and I loved trying something new. Knitting with DK was a first time experience, and these needles were also a first time experience. So if you guys have any other cool tools or yarns that you think would be really fun for me to try out and are curious about, let me know in the comment section down below. I am always looking for new things to knit up and work on. I hope you guys have a lovely, beautiful day, and thank you so much for stopping by.